This is Fritz Frivolous with continuous live coverage of the corner of Curious Lane and Just Because Boulevard, the epicenter of the alien invasion. And this just in, King Kong is fighting the Mobile Suit Gundam. And of course, all of this is happening amidst World War IV, making it pure pandemonium. If only Captain Planet were still alive to save us all. Dude, could you imagine? This weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, history will be made with the world's largest music festival. A concert for the century. A musical performance unlike any other to exist or have ever existed. A collection of musical talent so great it is on a scale hitherto undreamt of. Don't miss out on this once-in-a-lifetime chance to be a part of musical history. Be the first to call into the What If Weekend show with Will, Tom, and Brian on KDCY Imagine Radio with the winning phrase, Dude, could you imagine? Whenever you hear this, Dude, could you imagine? Just call 555-IMAGINE. Once again, that's 555-IMAGINE or 555-468-4469. Be there or blink yourself out of existence.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Tom Case.
This is Will Stark. And today we're joined by a very special guest that I would imagine many of you would know. Hey, Brian.
Hey, everybody. It's me, Brian. What's going on?
For those of you who may not know, Brian and I are co-hosts of another podcast called The Dungeon Cast, where we talk about everything Dungeons & Dragons. We get into lore, mechanics, and all that jazz. And he's here to join us today to talk about some heavy-hitting issues.
Yes, I'm very excited for that.
And I think Tom's bringing the first heavy-hitting issue.
I will. I don't know if it's heavy hitting. Well, you know what? It might be heavy hitting.
Everything we talk about this show is heavy hitting.
Yes, everything we talk about is heavy hitting. But I actually thought about this question because of Brian here, right? I was excited to have Brian on the show, and I was like, you know what? I want to bring a question that I think he'll be happy to answer, and that question is, what if you got to put on your own concert?
If I got to put on my own concert, okay, this is a good question.
So when you ask that question, do you mean like him playing,
so
or
let me establish
actually organizing the concert?
Yeah, let me establish the parameters.
He has played concerts. I've played concerts.
Yeah, exactly. I've played concerts too. Yeah.
I did this thing already. You've asked me.
So we've all done that. So that's why the parameters is no, you're not going to be playing your own concert.
Ooh.
You get to pick any band, whether they're still
your custom Coachella.
Yeah, your custom Coachella. I was actually had that in my head. Yes, custom Coachella. Your own wonderful Woodstock, right?
Wow.
Whatever band that you want, whether they're still together, alive or not. But here's the parameters. You only get you get 4 bands, 3 openers with one main event.
Okay, so three openers and then
one
the main
stage.
act.
It's not a multi-stage event.
No, it's not going to be there. Yeah, one stage. However, there's no capacity. It's going to be like one of those Woodstocks where the field is going to be open to everyone.
I was going to ask, what's capacity and can we choose the venue?
If you want to, you could. If you feel like, no, I don't want it to go crazy, you know what I mean? Like where, like this is too much, you could. Okay, but I'm not going to limit you on that.
Sorry, my next question is he trying to build his ideal, like his ultimate, or is the goal to like create the most sensational concert in history, like one that everyone will talk about forever, or is Brian kind of coming up with his own custom?
Himself to be.
This would be his ultimate Woodstock, or is he just trying to come up with a modern?
How in charge am I?
Yeah.
So you are 100% in charge. You are the man. You are the person everyone's going to go to for all the answers, right? But I do kind of feel like what you're asking. I feel like it's going to come. It's going to be. It's going to come together to be both, right? Because the goal is you are going to try to put on something that will be the most biggest concert in all history.
I need to host something concerts. I'm truly proud of.
Yeah,
much.
Exactly. So but see, I know that if you do that, it's also probably going to be something that it's also probably going to be something that,
We're recording in my garage right now, and as temperatures change, the garage door tends to make lots of noise.
It's certainly heating up here in Southern
Somebody
California.
must really hate this question. They threw rocks at the garage right now.
No,
just
hey, shut up.
Yeah.
No, we're
your concert sucks.
Okay, they don't even know, first of all, what I'm going to say, so they need to get out of here. Yeah. But this is an exciting question, and it's kind of got my ankles a little weak. So my ultimate, it's going to be in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
That's where I'm from. That's where I like to go see shows. I really like to go to places like the Troubadour, which are kind of more smaller and
Love
homey.
the Troubadour, yeah.
You know,
I
it's
was gonna
a second
mention
level,
Troubadour, yeah.
House
Yes.
of Blues.
Yes.
Like, I like that
Okay,
stuff,
right.
but
Me
like,
too.
should I go for the Hollywood Bowl? Because like,
If we're going big.
if I'm going big, right? So should I have people in seats and on the lawn? Yeah, I think for the magnitude of what's about to happen, I think it would be an insult to like limit the amount of people to something like a smaller venue like House of Blues or the Troubadour.
Not to mention, like, you know how much traffic that's going to cause to the point of like, since they know there's limited amount of seats or tickets, right? They're going to be camped out for, you know, probably how many weeks? You know,
It's
what I mean,
gonna be
before
bonkers.
that, like,
Big.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
if I hold it at a smaller venue, maybe like a multiple nights thing would be. But I'm thinking to keep the question simple. It's one raucous
big night.
evening.
Yeah.
You know, we're gonna get it.
Yeah.
We're gonna get it and hit it home. Man, Will and I just did like a like behind the scenes of the Dungeon Cast that we do for like our Patreon.
The 5
the
albums
Dungeon
one?
chats. Yeah, you kind of primed me for this a little
I
bit.
kinda
Like,
did, didn't I?
like if
Yeah.
I'm going to take, he asked me if I'm going to take 5 albums with me on my desert island and be stuck there for all eternity, like which ones would I pick? I'm like, oh my God, like what a question to get. So like it's nice to be here and like get that question after that episode, because I feel like I have
Your
a
brain's
little
melting.
bit of headway, and I'm going into my Spotify right now because I want to know where I'm at lately, and like.
Oh, that's not. Well, see, that's something to consider though. Like, you're talking about where you are lately. Like, this is going to be something tied to you and what you've done for the rest of your life. So
yeah.
Like, I wouldn't let recency bias get into it personally. That's just my 2 cents. I'm
Yeah,
not making the decisions here.
I think to like see where I'm at today is like a good way to backtrack and see where I was. But like there's a couple bands I've never seen that I would really love to see, and I think that's where I would kind of like. And I would want to keep the genre kind of together a little bit. I think that would be important to have a cohesiveness, because I don't just want to have like. It's a little different from the 5 best albums question, right? It's
Right.
more like I need to make a cohesive experience.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I'm not just going to throw
Well, you
in.
don't have to. I mean, you know what I mean? I'm
But
just saying.
that's your
but that's
approach.
what you're.
I think that's
you're-
great.
I think that I guess I don't have to, but I think that's what I would do in this
Yeah,
situation. If I had all this money, if I had the power to book this venue and grab artists from the ether
Yes,
and
you have
place
this
them
power.
down. So, man, I think Will already knows kind of where I'm going to land with this, but it's going to be, if it's going to be in Los Angeles, I would want hometown music.
Oh, so you're okay.
So I'm
okay.
thinking bands from Los Angeles, and maybe that would be like a cool thing. Like, so if it's from my approach, there's so many artists out of there, you can't keep track of them all.
Yeah.
So it's hard to like.
It's basically at this point the historical mecca of music.
I can't hit them all. I can only hit what I know.
Well, what's the number? It's 3 opening acts and one main.
One main.
All right. Do you want to start with the openers, or do you want to start with the main?
I think I want to start with the openers and kind of lead up to the main.
Okay, all right.
Because I'm between 2 people on the main, and I'm
Plus,
stalling
it's
a
more
little
exciting.
bit.
Okay, all right.
Plus, it's more exciting a
but
little bit.
also,
You know, it's like,
remember, whatever you say isn't concrete. We can discuss and then change our minds later.
That's cool. Okay,
Yeah.
so
yeah.
that's
You're in a
that's-
safe space, Brian. Speak your mind. Let's
You're
go.
not locked in,
know.
man.
It's
You're
good
not
to
locked
know. This feels so important because music's important to me. So
Yeah, and you know what? Let's take a moment. One of the reason we're asking Brian this question is Brian is a very talented musician. He does all the music for Super Quest Saga, which is another show we do. He got with me when I did a lot of the guitar work for the Dungeon Cast, and he's a big part of that too. Dude can play like 10 different instruments. He's extremely talented, and he's a great singer.
thanks.
Yeah, no, you're welcome. I just wanted people to know, like, we're not just asking you a music question because you like music a lot. It's like, no, you're very talented. This is a big part of who you are.
Yeah, just to reiterate, we're not just blowing smoke up your ass. Okay, because like when I did think of this question, I knew all the ramifications. I knew everything that was in this question was because I know that you are yourself a musician, an established musician, someone who knows music in and out, not just someone who likes to listen to music. So that's why I wanted to bring this question out.
Oh, it's good. It's good. I'm thinking we're gonna start slow and we're gonna ramp up to something really hype. So I think we're gonna start with some like electronic music that's a little more chill. And I know I was talking big about LA. This dude's from Washington. So I'm pretty sure it's Washington, but Emancipator I think would be a great one. They do. it's some real chill. Like I think maybe even have this dude start playing as people are walking in.
Oh, okay.
Like
that kind of opener.
Yeah, like the show starts at 9 p.m. The openers are going to start playing at like 7:30 or 8. Mm-hmm. So at 7:30, doors open, and maybe at like 8 o'clock, this dude starts playing. So people are still arriving at the venue, and a lot of bigger shows I go to, that's kind of the case with a lot of openers. Is I walk in, somebody's playing, I'm like, oh, this is chill. Who's this? And it's really more like a relaxing, like kind of gets you into the mood, into the setting. Right. You know, they're playing with the lights a little bit here and there. They're you know, they got a lighter stage crew, but the sound team is down there. So I think that's a really good one. They do it's pretty much a no lyrics situation. Some acoustic guitar, violin, some synth stuff, and beats, and that's
really nice.
That's pretty much it. It's real chill, relaxing thing. I think that would be a really cool thing to hear at the Hollywood Bowl. You got that nice acoustic section, and this particular artist likes to bring in live musicians for what he would normally sample and put in his tracks. So if there's like a guitar riff that you're going to hear through the whole song, that guitar, there's going to be a guitarist there playing it while he's like kind of doing the DJ thing. It's a little challenging to have a really hype show when you're sitting behind a computer, but I think bringing in the live instrumentalist is like a big deal, like a live violinist there.
That's the right move there, yeah.
Yeah, and then everything is always a little different for the live thing than it was on the record. So there's going to be some nice new flavor there. I'm struggling with the next person to bring in for the show. I'm thinking it should be this is going to be now I'm throwing the cohesiveness out the window too a little bit because
we'll see where it goes.
I really want to see Incubus live.
Ooh! Wow! I didn't see that coming.
And
in.
They're
talented. They're very good.
They're out of Los Angeles, and they're one of my favorite bands.
Have they done anything lately?
I don't think so,
and
man.
That's fine. It doesn't need to be.
Yeah.
But their stuff, when it was hype, it was really hype.
Yeah, we're talking like, the early 2000s, I think, is when a lot of their stuff is popping off. They have a double platinum Light Grenades album. Everybody knows those tracks pretty much.
Yeah.
So that's a really good band. I tried to go to Los Angeles for a surprise show one time, and I was in this long line that like wrapped around a freeway and went under a bridge, and I'm like towards the back, and it's getting late, and it's not moving. And I'm on Twitter, and it looks like it's starting, and I'm like, oh, God, okay, I'm going to go home. And that was, like, the closest I ever got to seeing them. Right. I was really poor at the time, so I couldn't, like, buy tickets. They were like, free show for the first, group of people that show up. And my homies were like, hey, like, get in the car and come pick us up. I can't drive. It's like that. I have $20 for gas for you. This guy has money for food later, maybe.
Right.
We'll figure it out.
Hilarious.
So I think that would be.
I brought PB&J sandwiches for y'all. That
would be great.
I mean, I don't think you're killing the cohesiveness though. I think Incubus going from electronic music, chill.
Yeah, they literally have a DJ in their band.
That's what I mean. So I think that's a nice segue.
Yeah, okay.
Especially if you're going more rock later. I don't know if you are, but
I'm gonna veer. I'm gonna veer back. I'm gonna veer into jazz hip hop fusion.
Okay, well, we could swap them. Incubus doesn't have to be second.
I dedefinitely need this other person last.
All right.
Yeah, I think it should be Incubus either second or third if I can figure out who to plug in.
What's your favorite Incubus song?
Whoa.
I know.
All right, give me your top.
Let him focus on one thing, and then we can go on to the next.
Oh, man. Okay.
I feel like you guys are going to laugh when I start talking about mine, because it's nowhere near this.
Yeah, no, we've talked about music. Yeah. I already know what all of them are probably going to be, but okay. Can you give me your top 2 tracks?
I think the song is Light Grenades. It was probably my favorite Incubus track, which is the title track of that record. I really like.
That's the record with all the hits, right?
Yeah,
3 or 4 of their hits.
They have a lot of like into the '90s. They've got like some really iconic music, kind of like the Offspring have like a bunch of songs on a bunch of different records that everybody knows those songs.
Yes.
Like that song "Drive" about drunk driving. And
great,
everybody knows that track. And then like Dig
Didn't they do Megalomaniac?
They did that one. Yeah.
Everyone knows that one, yeah.
Everybody knows that one. Everybody knows that one. Dig.
Yes.
That one's Dig is on the Light Grenades
I'm
record.
only familiar with their hits. I never really got into their other stuff.
Light Grenades is the record. I'm gonna just say that.
Check it out.
Just go ahead. The old ones are cool. Definitely cool to plug that in. They have one where they recorded their record in Malibu, and at the producer's house, I guess, or somebody's really, really nice house on the cliffside. And they just sat out there and were like, we're going to write a record and it's going to be all about what's around us. And
really
they had a
fucking
beautiful
amazing.
clear sky, the ocean out in
fantastic,
front of them. They're up
What
the
a
mountains.
California
I know,
album.
that's-
Oh yeah. It's called Morning View, and it
Okay.
has the album cover is the picture of the view they had
awesome. Wow.
in the
Really
morning
cool.
at this house.
For sure.
Really great stuff. I'm not sure what the circumstances were for Like Grenades. Anyway, we're gonna move out of that and get into Thundercat and Flying Lotus.
I knew this was coming. Yes.
Yeah.
Now I'm still not familiar with these artists.
It's okay.
Yeah.
They're super. I've come
Wait,
along.
what are they called again?
Okay, so they're two different artists, but they work very closely together. They're LA based, and one of them is more of a producer at this point, less of an artist, although still very much an artist. His name is Flying Lotus. That's his stage name. His name is Steve something. I forget at the moment. But and the other one is Thundercat, like the show.
okay.
It's inspired. Like his first record has the Thundercat logo,
like
like
the
a
panther,
cat.
yeah.
He's got
Yeah.
a bunch of songs about his cat. I know of two. There's probably more.
Right, sure. They work together. So is this going to be Act 3? Is them together?
I think I kind of wanted to put them on like a double show because they have so many songs together on each other's albums that it would be kind of cool for Thundercat to open up for Flying Lotus and then like they kind of shift and transition.
Ooh.
As I think,
Now that's a cool idea.
Yeah.
I like
So you're
that.
still going to use them as separate? So are those going to be 2 of the 3 opening acts?
I think it's gonna be.
It's like
I
you're
think
kind
it's
of
gonna-
making it a one thing. It's just
Or is
it's
it- yeah.
just one that transitions into the other, and then that's the end of Act 3.
I'm thinking it should be Act 1, Act 2, and then Act 3 and 4 in parentheses. I guess.
Oh, okay, so this is the main one then.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
okay.
Cool.
I think they would definitely be able to carry enough time to make that
Right.
like a feasible
Minus
thing.
2 artists, yeah.
And it's pretty much what they do. Like my first Flying Lotus concert, Thundercat opened up. There was another artist before that and another artist before that, much like this. But Thundercat opens up and then Flying Lotus comes out and does the final song. They do the final song together. And I'm like, oh, that's
cool.
fucking cool, great. And then they all go backstage and then Flying Lotus comes out and does his show. And he got nominated for a Grammy this last year for visual production stuff. I was like, oh, damn, like I've been missing out. Like the pandemic came and then they did like a secret show, like a drive-in show. And I missed it. And my wife was like, did you know this was happening today? I was like, no, I didn't. I would be there.
Yeah.
I haven't been paying attention.
Yeah.
I'm worried about getting coronavirus. so yeah, that like
But you would have risked it.
I
Well,
would.
this was a drive-in, right?
Yeah, it was.
So
everybody was
that-
in their cars, so
right,
yeah,
safer.
absolutely would have
Yeah.
risked it.
Yeah,
I would
absolutely,
have
yeah.
risked the biscuit for sure
Yeah.
on that one.
What if it wasn't in the car?
If it wasn't in the car, I would have had a really sad time,
Yeah.
trying to justify that.
Yeah.
That's true.
Just my living situation is not like.
Yeah.
If
No,
I lived alone,
100%.
maybe,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
Although that in turn is kind of selfish too. But
Yeah.
like I
know what you mean.
I would have thought about it.
Yeah.
For sure would have thought about it.
Yeah, for sure.
That's too funny.
But yeah, I'm thinking that's where I would land and where I would place them, like Flying Lotus, Thundercat, where they would transition. Like, do I really want one before the other, or do I want it to be vice versa? I just think like it would be a cool finisher to have Flying Lotus with all his visual stuff. He's like pretty much got his Mac up there and a microphone because he does do some rap, I think, when he's up there, and he has like a it's like a bunch of screens like in different shapes, but most of the time it's like a big like box he's in, and stuff. The front screen might be like an image at first,
Oh,
and
it's
then
like a
it'll become
visual, like.
it'll become like translucent, and then the back screen will be playing something, and then there's like a theater screen behind the entire show that will like light up, and then the fucking lights will start going off, and then they'll fucking roll out the fog machines and do all that stuff, and they'll be playing stuff off the fog over the audience.
Oh,
like,
that's always cool.
they did like
yeah.
a fucking face out there. I was like, oh my
Dang,
god,
that's
I'm
like-
glad I'm not on drugs.
I know you'd be tripping out.
I was
Like, oh
not
my
been good.
I see the face of God. Like, you know?
It's the face of somebody. Yeah, for sure. That would be cool. I'm mostly struggling to come up with another artist after that.
Well,
So-
okay, so that surprised me because I was 80% sure your main actor is going to be the Strokes.
That would.
thought they were gonna be
I
your
really,
top
I
billing
really
act.
did think about it because
Yeah.
that's another band that I haven't seen. So if I could do this again, I would probably have the Strokes and Punch Brothers in one. That would definitely be at the Hollywood Bowl.
For sure, for sure.
But you know, I can't think of like 4 really good acoustic bands that I would really like to see. and would the Strokes even belong? Like, yeah, I initially thought about that, but I think it would be a really cool show to see the first 4 people.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's your show, man. It's your custom Coachella.
That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at with that. I hope
wish
I didn't
could say
take
I
too
was a
long.
little more familiar with a lot of the artists you chose, but like you have talked to me about these artists, so I'm familiar in that regard.
Yeah, music is like super personal for me in the way of like when I share an artist, I don't really expect anybody to like listen to it.
Yeah, I mean it's the same with me.
Yeah, and that's
sure.
just the way it is.
Yeah.
I mean, like I like it and it's good for me, and I'm not alone because they're selling the venue out. Exactly. I'm not crazy or anything. This dude's talented and I like the music, and it's just like people around me have very eclectic taste. Yeah, and that's just kind of the way it is. And just respect our differences.
Music's never been more wide and varied than it is now.
Yeah.
It's like everyone knows their own private esoteric artist that no one else has heard of.
You can really get lost in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Well, thanks for sharing. And Tom, it sounds like you have a list as well.
Oh, man.
Now, I just want to make sure. You can't bring anyone back from the dead.
No, you
Was
can't.
that a parameter?
No,
that's what I said. I said you can.
That?
I could at the very beginning. I said you can pick anyone, whether they're still alive or together or not.
Part. Would that change anything for you?
I was having struggles like wanting to bring someone back from the dead.
This entire time,
more
I
like
was thinking
moral.
like, well, I can't have them be the lead because they're so old now; they don't sound good anymore.
Yeah, are they zombies or
this is
pulling from their
if you
prime?
brought them back, it's pulled from their prime. You know what I mean?
Prime.
You're taking them.
Dude,
you're bringing them
everything.
back from time in your own telephone booth like Bill and Ted.
Well, now I'm gonna have to have 2 answers now because I just built 3 out of my 4 off these other parameters.
Yeah.
And now I gotta.
Oh yeah. At the very beginning, that's what I said. Yeah, those are the parameters.
I don't think it changes anything for me.
Yeah.
It would be really difficult for me to try to think of dead people.
Yeah.
I really don't listen to a lot of dead people.
Well, because if I didn't have that, then I can't have my favorite band in the whole world. Which I'm just already gonna say the main event's gonna be the Beatles.
There it is on the arm. It's right there.
That's for sure.
Yeah. If we can bring people back from the dead and have them play in their prime, and we're trying to build the biggest like show ever made, then yes, like that's obvious answer A.
Yeah, it's like in Michael Jackson.
And
probably.
then I was gonna say, and then Michael Jackson. Yeah.
So that's what. Okay, so consistency is out the fucking window. Okay, on mine, there's not going to be nothing. There's not
we're just getting big names in here.
Oh, it's because like I would want to pick. Okay, well, first of all, let me set the venue. I think I would have to pick somewhere like probably if I did pick a major city, it would probably be L.A. Probably the L.A. Bowl, right?
Okay,
but
is that where the Rams play?
I mean, no.
Is
I mean,
the
I'm sorry, not
Coliseum?
at the Coliseum.
Okay.
But I was also thinking, like, to have something so huge, to have like as many people who want to come to this concert can come, it's got to be some type of big field or desert or something like that. You know what I mean? Almost like Woodstock style.
Yeah.
Where it was just like a giant, thing where you could just come and
totally.
You know what I mean? So
because you could go out to Indio.
Yeah, that's true. You know what I mean? Like somewhere like
Stagecoach style.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Like somewhere where
actual Coachella,
where like it's not going to be limiting because like I know the bands I'm going to pick. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to want to come to see them, especially since they're not. Some aren't alive and some aren't together. You know? What I mean?
If you're bringing back
Michael Jackson's alive, I have to go see this.
I know, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even like that fool.
Yeah. So. Honestly, I feel like I want to pick people who I feel like were innovative in their own genre of music, like ones that were just at the top, that kind of changed the game of stuff, right? Mm-hmm. The first one would be Michael Jackson. No, I'm sorry, that's not the first opening act. The first opening act, actually, I would bring back NWA. Right?
Okay, for sure. Nice.
I feel like they, in that genre of gangsta rap and. Man, I grew up on that stuff too. So I would bring NWA.
That's a pretty hype opener for sure.
Yeah, right. I want like something where people are just like, "Oh my god!"
It's also going to change drastically.
Yes, it will. Oh my god! Just wait till you hear the rest of it. So from there, I want to kind of keep it going, right? I want to keep this high energy going. So then it would be Michael Jackson. Right?
Yeah.
And he would do his thing, right? He
said very different high energy.
He said up front it's going to lose cohesiveness.
Oh yeah, I
said
cohesiveness is out the fucking window. Yeah, no consistency to whatever.
Yeah, the people trying to get to the front shift.
Oh yeah. You're probably going to see this weird wave in the audience. Like when these people now they're going to go to the front. So NWA, then Michael Jackson, then the third one, right? I want to kind of mellow it out a little bit. I would bring back Bob Marley.
That's
right?
cool.
Yeah, so I would bring Bob Marley back because I would want that like you know, his
vibes.
music is very, you know what I mean? Because then I want it to start getting more chill instead of like that all high energy where everyone's like, you know.
It's like something everybody can listen to. I feel
exactly.
Like
Everyone would probably listen to, sing
like
along.
Beatles or Michael Jackson.
Yeah, that's true.
They relax. And then that's why, because I would have Bob Marley and then the Beatles. Because the Beatles do have a little bit more of a range of like, this is like high energy a little bit and mellow and like good vibes. You know what I mean? They kind of have it all, I feel like. And I feel like that's the best way to end that concert. So there it is.
Nice, man.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you cheated, but
So I did think, I was thinking about it though. If I couldn't bring back like people, I would probably start off with probably someone like Eminem, right?
Yeah, sure. He's a great choice.
And then, or no, I'm sorry. No, actually, are you guys familiar with D Antwoord?
No, I'm not.
So
it rings a bell, I guess.
Yeah, I think they're like a South African, like I don't even know how to describe the music. It's kind of like techno rap. Like they're very like vulgar and like it's basically three people in the band. They have like a DJ and then they have the one guy Ninja and then Yolandi is like this. She's like a small, like really small petite girl, but they both rap. Right.
Sure.
And have you guys ever seen the movie? I don't know if Will's ever seen it. Have you ever seen the movie Chappie?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm a bad person to ask that question.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I know Will
I have
doesn't
not
watch
seen
a lot
most
of-
movies.
really?
One of my best friends will sit me down to watch. He's like, dude, come on, just fucking watch this. Watch these Marvel movies, damn it. You're going to love them.
Yeah.
He was right.
And he was right.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
hilarious.
So, like, if you ever get a chance to, there's a movie called Chappie, or just look up the band D Antwoord. It's DIEANTWOORD. Right?
Okay.
They use a lot of South African slang in there, and sometimes it's kind of hard because they have an accent to like understand exactly what they're saying. But I like the music, so it would start off with them, then Eminem, then this is where I get in a little bit of trouble trying to like pick someone who's not, you know what I mean, like because I don't listen. That's the thing. That's the difference I think between me and you guys is like I don't listen to a lot of new music. A lot of the music I listen to is definitely older.
Yeah, I try to
stuff.
listen to as much new music as I can because there's always so much of it. I'm like, well,
It's
what if
never
I?
ending, for sure.
Yeah, it's like there's so much here. Like there's got to be good stuff in here. I'm just like rummaging through this barrel of garbage, pretty much.
But I couldn't really think of like the third opening act. But I do know then who I would have at the end would be Paul McCartney.
Okay.
Yeah, that would definitely.
Oh, yeah.
If they were all
Yeah.
alive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes,
You know,
exactly, yeah.
if I had to pick that way.
Okay, interesting.
Man, DMX would have been a good fit right there, but he just passed away, so that don't count. Yeah, that was pretty good. That's pretty good. I like that. The roller coaster you put me on with Bob Marley, just
That was a roller coaster.
It was
for
like
sure.
it was like the drop out front, and then it picks me back up to like mid-level energy at the end. I'm like, yeah, I like this. I think this would be a volatile concert for my emotions.
It would.
You know, one thing I thought about when I was putting this concert together in my head was I wondered what would happen in this crowd. I always wondered, like, would this be a crowd that would be at odds with each other? Would people start to kind of maybe not be violent to each other, but maybe not mesh well? Or would they ultimately probably be like, you know, because I know like you have like NWA, right? I don't know if a lot of people who listen to NWA are really into NWA listen to a lot of Michael Jackson, let's say. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you know, so I always wondered about that. I kind of feel like in the end, I think everyone would just be chill. You know what I mean? That's why I did like the Bob Marley Beatle thing at the end, because I think everyone kind of, you know.
I mean, by the end of the Beatles concert, everyone's going to be in fucking tears because that's what the Beatles do to you.
Yeah,
Like,
I know. Yeah, right. Like, even the most hardcore gangsters who are listening
yes,
to NWA.
everyone's going to be crying. Everyone's going to be happy. Everyone's going to feel like they had a spiritual moment.
Yeah.
And like become a better person the next
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
You have like the Coachella lineup is usually like way all over the place.
It is.
You know, like
it is.
so.
But there's multiple stages. In that.
Right,
Yeah,
so
that
I
is
figure
true.
it would be something like that, where it's
Yeah.
like, okay, like NWA is over, the crowd's gonna switch out pretty much.
Yeah.
Like now you're gonna have the new crowd up here that's into what is on the stage.
Plus, you have two blazers, and by that I mean when people listen to MWA, they're gonna blaze up, they're gonna smoke their weed, they're gonna do all that stuff. It'll probably calm them down, and then Michael Jackson, their weed's gonna wear off a little bit, the high's gonna go away, and then Bob Marley comes, and you're gonna be smoking
smoke
a lot
again.
Yeah, you know that's what's gonna happen. You know,
smoking a lot again.
You
That's
can't
hilarious.
you can't listen to Bob Marley and then not smoke, right?
You're going to be in the area, you're going to be high.
Even if you don't smoke, you're right. You're just gonna get all this contact high with all this cloud of marijuana smoke.
Even outdoors, if you're in the Coliseum or even that, if you're at a Bob Marley show, you're gonna need a gas mask if you're trying to stay sober there.
True that. Man, dude.
I'm really interested to hear about Will's now.
Okay, let me get the first one out of the way, which is obviously if I can bring people back from the dead. I got 3 of these for sure. I'm leaving the Beatles out just because he already used the Beatles. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to figure out who Act 2 and 3. I got Act 1 and I got the main act, and I know 1 of 2 and 3. I just don't know where I'm going to put them depending on. No, okay, I think I got it. So we're opening with In Their Prime, AC/DC.
Okay, nice.
Oh, man.
It's gonna get the crowd so
that would be
pumped.
pretty good, yeah.
And I've never seen AC/DC live. I've never had the chance or had the money to really go do it because their concerts are stupid expensive. Yeah. And now they're retired. But I've seen some amazing tribute bands, and nothing gets the crowd hyped.
Not dead, just retired, right?
Retired, yeah.
Okay. I don't know the status of
I know
the members
Young,
of AC/DC.
Malcolm Young passed. I think the singer Brian Johnson he threw out his voice. He can't sing anymore.
Yeah, I don't think did he pass?
That's kind of sad.
I thought they were. Oh, okay.
And okay, since we're bringing people back to life, we're doing a Bon Scott / Brian Johnson duo. Both of them are the voices of AC/DC. They both deserve a slot.
So you would
Bon Scott's being brought back to life. Brian Johnson has his voice back, and we're gonna do. They're going to sing together. They're going to sing some of each other's songs. It's going to be great.
That would be awesome.
Followed by Queen.
Oh, man, that would have been good.
Queen throws an amazing show, and they might not be as heavy as AC/DC, but they're just as hype.
And talk about a band that was innovative in their field.
Absolutely. Yeah, Queen. Again, this is cheating. This is all cheating. I just want everyone to know.
Because if we can bring Freddie back to life, then I'm gonna bump my bottom. My first opener up and end with Queen.
Exactly.
I can't not do that.
Right.
You mean you guys don't have this power to bring it? Come on, I thought everyone did.
Following this, what's great about Queen is it can start hype and go mellow. It can start hype, go mellow, go hype again. You can do all kinds of stuff with Queen music. And I would try and find a way to do the best transition that you could do from going from Queen to In Their Prime, somewhere between Dark Side of the Moon and The Wall, Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
Which is everyone's going to have a fucking psychedelic experience.
Wait, this is
number 3, Pink Floyd.
Okay. So but you have one
AC/DC to Queen to Pink Floyd.
And then to Pink Floyd.
And Pink Floyd's going to throw on a whole thing. It's going to be so amazing. People will think that's the final act until they hear Jimmy Page walk out. And we're getting Zeppelin as the final act here.
Man.
But I mean, In Their Prime Zeppelin. And In Their Prime Zeppelin live is a very narrow window because, at the beginning, they hadn't quite figured out their live performance yet. And by the end, they were really sloppy. But there's this real sliver of time where it was just so fucking perfect and immaculate. And that's the Zepp show that we're getting at the end.
So that's the.
I know. I look like Pacha.
Hits these hills just right.
Exactly. So that's my cheating answer. We're moving on.
More like Dead Zeppelin.
I know.
Sorry.
But this entire time before I found out that we could bring the dead back to life, even though you said it, I just didn't hear it. I decided I wanted to go more personal and less trying to make the hypest show ever, and I wanted to go more metal, but also more like the kind of metal that I listen to, which is not the same metal that a lot of metalheads listen to. And I wanted to do an opening of Tenacious D.
That's cool.
Yes.
Oh, that
Tenacious
would be fun.
D is going to open. Which means Dave Grohl from Foo Fighters is playing the drums, and I want to kind of meld this because Dave Grohl also has his own little side project he did once called Probot, where he does a lot of different
What the fuck
metal
doesn't
styles.
Dave Grohl do?
I know, right? He does everything. But there's a song with him and Jack Black where it's in the Black Sabbath style, and it's called I Am the Warlock, and it's fucking incredible.
I think you had me listen to
I'm
that.
gonna look that up.
Oh, yeah. I Am the Warlock is one of my favorite metal songs of all time.
We're allowed to play 15 seconds of anything we want before we get copyrighted.
Yeah, exactly, right? So that's going to be the beginning. And then we're going to slide into a band that I absolutely adore from the bottom of my heart. I listen to all their albums, I listen to all their songs, and most people think they're a joke or a gimmick or whatever, but I truly think they're phenomenal. They're from Japan, and it's a group. It's an act called Babymetal.
Oh, yeah.
You've shown me Babymetal.
It's so incredible. They mix J-pop with death metal. The musicians are all top notch. These girls put on the performance of their lifetime, and it's this weird blend of happy and bubbly, but also fucking heavy, and I absolutely love it.
And skulls and stuff. I would see the show.
Yes.
I would see them if I got the chance.
It's not for everybody. I get it. It is the most wild
I'm not
thing
putting
you've
on their
ever
music,
seen.
but I would go see this.
No. Let me interject. Let me just interject here real quick.
Yeah.
Will introduced me to Babymetal, and I had no clue when he told me what this was. I was like, "What is this bullshit? Like, is he gonna let me hear whatever this is?" I heard one song and I was hooked, and I immediately put everything Babymetal into my random shuffle on my Spotify. I then went to my wife and I told her, "Hey babe, Will told me about this stuff. It's called Babymetal." She's like, "What's that?" And I said, "No, listen to this." And I played one song, and now in her Spotify, she has everything Babymetal in her random shuffle too.
Hell yeah. That's right.
I need to implore everyone listening right now, just go look it up.
I'd give it a shot.
Yeah, just check it out. It's like nothing you've ever
heard.
heard before. Most of you won't like it, but the ones who do, you're gonna love it.
I would even say YouTube it because the visuals that
the
they
visuals
do.
are a big part of it,
That's
yeah.
why I would definitely like. I listen to the music, and that is cool for sure.
But the show is such a big part of it.
Yeah, everything together, seeing that live, that would bring me to their concert if I had the chance. Somebody's like, "Here's a Babymetal ticket," I'd be like, "Fuck yeah!"
You would go almost more for the spectacle than the actual music.
I go for both, like because they're so interlinked.
Yeah.
But like with the opportunity, like I would definitely do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so this brings me to Act 3, which is another weird one like Babymetal, and it's again, there's a lot of like quote unquote legit metal bands that I adore and love to the end of time, but there's something about these more gimmicky like. Maybe gimmicky is not the right word. I just think it's like it's creative. Like you could do all kinds of things with metal. Like let's get silly with it too. And there was an animated show called Metalocalypse.
Oh yeah.
And it was created, written, and all the music was composed by a guy named Brendan Smalls. This dude is so fucking talented. It's ridiculous. And basically, it's like it's a type of death metal, but it's got its own flavor, and it's over the top. It'll make you laugh, but it'll give you that aggressive feeling that metal gives you that we all love, pumps you up.
It's a funny show.
And he has done tours live with this music. He'll hire a band to do all the parts because he does all the parts in the recording.
It's like a Trent Reznor thing.
It's like a Trent Reznor thing. Yes, exactly. And so I would definitely follow this up. I think I would call it. I would have the artist be the artist from the show Metalocalypse, which is Death Clock. So rather than it just be Brendan Smalls, which doesn't sound impressive, it would be Death Clock. So we're looking at Tenacious D to Babymetal to Death Clock, and then finally, I think you guys both know me. You know what my answer is going to be. If I'm putting on a metal show, the head act, who I think is the greatest metal band to ever exist, bar none, and I think there's greats out there. Megadeth, without a doubt.
I was wondering, is it going to come up because
Megadeth.
it didn't come up yet?
I think if you like metal, if you like thrash metal specifically, for instance, do you like Metallica? You probably do. Most people like Metallica. If you like Metallica, go give Megadeth a listen because there are aspects to Megadeth that I think blow Metallica out of the water, and I love Metallica. I think they're great.
They're just a gateway drug, though.
Yeah, they're a gateway drug to metal in general. But I think Megadeth really just hits me where I live. There's something about the mixture of truly like heavy, groundbreakingly technical music, like mixed with lyrics that will resonate with you, that will make you think, that will like they're lyrics that are deep enough to the point where like we're talking about real emotions, real experiences and stuff. And that's where metal can fail a lot of times. A lot of times metal will be either about more fantastical stuff, or it won't really be about anything but just brutality and heaviness.
Yeah, I find myself there with metal. When I go to explore, I'm like, I don't know.
It can be hard to sift through it. And the thing is, like, that type of metal has its value too. And I listen to that type of metal all the time. But for me, it's lesser than when it comes to like measuring up to metal that has like really good lyrics like Ozzy Osbourne or a Megadeth.
Yeah, metal's more focused on like the musicality of it.
It
right?
really is.
Like the best metal is like when you have more range of than
of
just
emotion.
than just,
that's the thing is I do want range of emotion when it comes to my metal.
If you're bringing good lyrics to the forefront with the musicality, then sure.
And Dave Mustaine, man, he's a master lyricist, a master musician. Love Megadeth, love metal.
Really hard to come by for me is like lyrics. Will knows is like lyrics are a huge challenge for me.
Yes, they
are. A lot of it just comes off sounding so cheap and fragile to me.
Yes, absolutely.
When
No, I
find
agree with you.
some
I
good
agree
lyrics,
with you.
I like to stick to it. Like,
absolutely.
I like Coldplay lyrics, but I like Coldplay songs more than Coldplay.
Yes,
like,
I can see what you mean.
I don't know. I have a really complicated experience.
I know you do. We've talked about this.
Let me ask you guys something real quick. Do you guys, let's say when you're listening to something new, right, or whatever, do you guys go and you first listen to the lyrics? Like, do you try to listen to a song and be like, oh, what are these lyrics saying? Or do you listen to the song first and think, how does this song sound? Like, whether it just be the instruments or instrumentals or the music, other than.
You want to go first?
Yeah, because my answer is like super duper simple, but also like it is confusing me. But I almost can't hear the lyrics the first time I hear a song. I'm hearing words for sure, and I'm hearing like consonants and the flow of the rhythm of the words coming out and like how they're dropping. So, but it's all sound. It's all sound.
Yeah.
I get bombarded and overwhelmed by music to the point where I can't like. I would have to shut that part of my brain off and only listen to what you're saying and process that to understand the lyrics. So I'll listen to an album. I'll be like, what are these songs really about? And I did this with an album that I listened to in high school. And I went back and listened to it. And I was like, oh my gosh, like these songs are fucking wild.
Like, they're telling me to kill people. Like, what if I didn't know?
The opposite. They're telling me to go find God. Stuff like that. I'm like, wow, it really.
Oh, you're talking about
I'm talking about Thrice.
Thrice, yeah.
It really was baked in there the whole time, and I never knew.
Yeah,
like,
you'll see bands like that.
Yeah, like some of it is too obvious, and the song is so. When a song is so good, I want to know the lyrics.
Yeah.
Right.
But songs that I'm like, I love putting this jam on. Hell yeah, let's bop. And I'm like listening to it, like, I never. What was that thing you just said? Oh man.
Because okay. So I'm similar in that regard, right? Because I don't hear the lyrics first. I am automatically just hear what just the whole thing sounds like, and the lyrics don't pop out to me. It's part of the music sound, like the cadence of it and the flow, right?
I get that.
And because I don't listen to a lot of new music, it's very hard for me to like anything new when I hear it. But most recently was this band called Saint Vincent. I saw them on Saturday Night Live.
Oh, cool.
And I was like, and I have no clue. If you ask me what my favorite song of theirs is, I can't tell you. And I can't tell you what any of the songs sing about. I don't know the lyrics. I just know that when I heard their sound, I was like, oh, I like that. You know what I mean? So now that's the newest band I like.
Cool, man. That's good.
What about you, Will?
For me, I mean, lyrics are very important for me. And when I first hear a song, like, I am listening to the lyrics to, like, oh, what are they talking about? Oh, okay. I between, like, the vibe of the song and the amount of lyrics I'm able to process, because this is my first time, I can, like, piece together, like, what they're going for, what they're trying to say. And that can be a big swayer of whether I like the song or not. But I think the most important thing that I tend to listen to on my first listen through is the contrast of melody and harmony. And a lot of times, like, you listen to enough music, it's very easy to predict the next thing they're going to do, how the chorus is going to sound, like, what chords are being used. Yeah. But when someone can do something that fits within the rules but goes in an unexpected direction, that always puts a smile on my face. I'm like, oh, I didn't expect that. Like, oh, this sounds great. Like,
it's like the twist
oh, what
in
a
the
cool
movie.
way you could have put that together. Yeah, so that's probably the biggest part of it. But yeah, in the end, lyrics are super important to me. Like, there's a band who is extremely talented, has nothing but my utmost respect, that I do not like their music. And it's because their lyrics, they have a lyrical philosophy where the idea is our songs aren't actually about anything. We just try and choose words that are pleasing to the ear and parse them together in a way that almost makes sense but doesn't actually say anything. And that's the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's their thing. That's what they do. And, like, totally respect that. Think it's super creative. I think it's awesome. I just can't get into their music because it's not about anything, and it just drives me crazy.
They sneak thematic things in there,
yes,
but it's
it'll
not
be
like
thematic, but it's not actually about anything.
You're right.
It drives my brain crazy because
especially their older stuff. Man.
Yeah, especially their older stuff. But it drives my brain crazy because I'm trying to form patterns, but there's nothing to put together, and it just makes me mad.
I think that's why I stopped listening to them, because I listened to them for a long time, and then I just I'll put it on every once in a while, like the Stadium Arcadium album. Yeah. Like, that is a masterpiece of a record, but I don't give a fuck about any of these songs.
Right,
and the
exactly.
Lyrics, they're so
how
easy.
How can I care
Yeah.
when it's not about anything?
The lyrics are so easy to hear on a Red Hot Chili Pepper song, too. It's like, what's that guy's name? Anthony something. But Kiedis? Is it Anthony Kiedis?
Singer?
Yeah.
I know the guitar player's name, but not him.
He super bombs on the microphone. Like, he's the mix. He's right up front. He's super clear. I can't get away from the lyrics from Red Hot Chili Pepper song.
You can't.
So yeah, like when you hear Californication, I know all the words of that song.
Yeah.
I don't want to know all the words of that song.
But you do. Like,
but I have to.
There is a masterfulness to how they lyrically like craft it.
Sure.
And yet at the same time, it's so lacking in meaning that it drives me insane.
Yeah, the music is good enough to like.
Right.
There are Chili Pepper songs I will turn on, and it's none of the ones that people probably think they are.
Yes.
I see.
Yeah.
So let us go over. This is going to be the most historical music event in history.
Okay.
It's a 3-day event. On Friday, we have...
Oh, man.
who are you guys again?
Okay. Oh, yeah. We have... well, now I don't want the first guy I picked anymore.
Because you can bring people back from the dead.
Yeah.
Well, I think I would just fuck it. I don't know where the Strokes are from. Are they from
It
No,
does-
they're
they're from
New
New
York.
York,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's right. I did know that. I don't know why I said that. Because they're a lot about fashion and stuff. Like I really want this Los Angeles thing to click. But yeah, let's just fucking replace that first Emancipator with. Well, I do love what. Oh, if I'm gonna do that,
You want to slide people down rather than replace them, plug in.
I think we're gonna open up with Incubus.
Okay.
Nice.
We're gonna open up
On
Incubus
Friday.
on
Opening
Friday.
Incubus.
I'm gonna open with the double platinum Incubus. On Saturday.
No.
No.
I'm Saturday.
You're
You're
Friday.
Friday.
Oh, this is our. Oh,
This is going
I
to be
see.
the biggest,
Welcome
most
to the
historical.
festival.
Yes.
I'm gonna go ahead and go Incubus, then the Strokes, then I'm gonna go Flying Lotus Emancipator finisher that
Okay.
I haven't in my. Sorry, I said Emancipator again. Flying Lotus Thundercat, that switch off.
Okay.
All of that on Friday. And on Saturday, we have NWA opening with Michael Jackson, then Bob Marley, and the Beatles. And on Sunday,
So iconic.
I mean, I'm going with my second one. I'm not
Yeah,
going
that's
with
fine.
my cheat one. So we're opening with Tenacious D to Babymetal to Death Clock to Megadeth.
dude, could you imagine?
Fuck.
Breaking news, a new study suggests leaving an iTunes review is very important for newly created podcasts. So to nurture your new favorite podcast, make sure to leave an iTunes review. This has been Fritz Frivolous, reminding you to like, comment, and subscribe. Will and Tom, back to you. Smaug, Puff, Mushu, Falcor. For the general public, those may be the names that come into mind when someone mentions the word dragon. However, for fans of Dungeons & Dragons, these ancient and powerful beings are much different than their more mainstream counterparts. In the world of D&D, dragons possess incredible intelligence, strength, and magical abilities that rival even the most powerful of wizards. Some align themselves with the side of good, while others are downright evil and cunning, making them a threat of the highest level should they turn their gaze upon you, or anyone for that matter. But what if these draconian beings were real? How would they affect our world, our way of life? Let our two adventurers, Tom and Brian, roll initiative for our Dungeon Master Will as we play out this campaign.
And we're back.
Indeed, we are.
Back again.
Today I have a question. I figured when you have the Dungeon Cast on your podcast, how can you not ask a D&D related question? So,
Sure.
my question is this. What if dragons actually existed? Ooh. And let me set some parameters for those of you. Yeah. So when I say dragons, I do mean Dungeons and Dragons, in which these are beings that live for thousands of years. They are hyper intelligent to the point of being like geniuses on the regular, with the exception of certain types of dragons. They are capable of magic on the level of a master wizard, which is like if we're doing this in Harry Potter terms, like
Yes, I need Harry Potter
an
terms.
ancient dragon is not only a fucking ancient dragon, but they're also Dumbledore at the same time.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Obviously, the younger ones, you know, it scales in power as they get older. They have magical breath powers. Some have fire, but there's many others. There's ice, there's lightning, there's poison gas, there's acid. It depends on your type. There's also a divide in D&D dragons between chromatic dragons and metallic dragons. Generally speaking, chromatic dragons are very much evil, domineering, like trying to take over the world type stuff. Metallic dragons ride anywhere from more neutral to actually like good. It tries to fight for the benefit of the quote-unquote lesser races.
They're called that because they're literally made out of metal, and the other ones are colored.
They're not literally made out of metal, but yes,
Or they
silver,
look like
gold,
they're-
bronze,
okay.
brass, copper, and then the chromatics are black, white, green, red, and blue.
Okay.
Don't they have like metal incorporations though? Like some of them.
Their scales look like they're made of metal.
Yeah, like don't
they're-
they even like green? Like the copper ones. kinda
Yes,
have a
exactly.
greenish tint?
So yes, that's exactly right.
Okay.
Especially as they get older, that happens.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I have two other parameters. I want to answer this question. What if they showed up right now? Like, what would happen? How would that go down? Like, what would be the long-term ramifications for that? And then, what if they had always existed in our history?
Ooh,
okay. Those are-
War of the Worlds, like the new world, Tom Cruise War of the Worlds.
Sure, yeah, we could go with that, where they were in hiding the whole time.
They were just here
Yeah.
always.
Yeah, they were just always here. I open the floor to you guys. I'll speak probably after you guys are done talking.
So, me with not knowing a lot from D&D, I'll probably have to need you guys' help.
Sure.
You can ask as many questions you want.
Okay.
Like, literally, that's what we do.
It's pretty much between the two of us. So, you know.
I mean, okay, let's use the if they just showed up now.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, we'll start there.
Because I really feel that I think we might be at a point in our history with our military where we might ask questions first before we just shoot. I would hope that we would do that. I don't know for sure. I'm like 50-50. Like
I don't want to. I don't want to piss off the government and do something about this dragon.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm saying like, well, because you guys said that they are hyper intelligent. I'm assuming
yeah.
that means they can communicate with us.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I would hope that our government would be smart enough now to the point where before we just go and see, big scary dragon, let's go shoot it. Because I don't think our military could withstand these dragons. Well, wait, is it like one dragon or how many dragons show up?
Let's say...
And are they the more benevolent ones?
Let's say a dimensional portal shows up and 50 chromatic dragons.
50?
Ranging from young to maybe one or two ancients
Okay.
pours through. And then maybe a week later, a portal chasing these dragons, a group of, we'll say, 25 metallic dragons ranging from young to adult show up later.
So for you, Tom, the younger a dragon is, the less powerful it is.
Yes.
So
Yeah, okay.
with age in Dungeons and Dragons, you become much more powerful. So an ancient dragon, like 1,000 years plus, very, very strong.
Mm-hmm.
A young dragon, though, you can't like wrestle it to death, but you know,
No,
You might be
young
able to
dragon
shoot it.
is
Conventional
like
weapons.
the size of a car and...
formidable for sure.
yeah,
But you could probably
we'd kill the
shoot.
three of us like that.
Yeah, you
Would
could probably
our-
shoot it to death though.
Would our
Yeah, yes,
okay, that's what I was gonna say.
absolutely.
Would conventional military weapons be able to destroy?
So here's
Yeah.
the thing. Here's the thing. Ancient dragons or adult dragons, they have resistances to non-magical bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage. That's all well and good. It just means half damage, right? Resistance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, resist a fucking ballistic missile at your fucking chest. Like, you're still gonna take a massive amount of
Yeah,
damage.
because ballistic missiles are strong. It's still gonna do half.
Yeah, it's still gonna
It's
do
not
half.
magic.
It's just a big half.
yeah.
But, here's a good. Have you seen The Hobbit? Have you seen?
Oh, yeah.
The Smog
Like
is a
Smaug,
great
yeah.
touchstone for what a red dragon really is in D&D,
Yes.
and how hard it is to kill one.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
See,
The
because
bullshit they had to do to kill that thing was like it took like 2 generations of dudes.
Yeah, yeah.
with
Also,
a
like,
fucking
and they had to
bazooka,
give it a
essentially.
weakness that a
Yeah.
dragon would not probably have.
I feel like if 50 of those dragons came from a portal right now, you know, obviously, first things first, you're going to hear the hugest, but the internet's probably going to be locked up and frozen because of all these people uploading videos from their phone and
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
and screaming and everything.
My
But
TikTok feed is just dragons coming out of the sky.
yeah, but I think it's going to be manic panic across the board on any country. Where is it going to be? Is this portal opening up in
We'll
United
say
States?
it
or, like-
opens up over. Yeah, fuck it. Opens up over New York City.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
talking about.
Yeah,
I was just gonna
everything always happens in
say
New
we're
York
talking
City,
about
right?
an alien invasion,
Yeah.
essentially.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
exactly
exactly.
what it is. It's an alien invasion.
But if 50 of those chromatic dragons came out, I feel like it's 50-50, and I would hope to God that our military be smart enough to at least ask them, try to communicate with them first.
well, let me tell you this. That would be the worst mistake we could make.
Oh, it would be.
Yes, because the chromatics are smarter than us.
Yeah, what are they going to do? They're going to go sit. They're
Yeah.
going to
Let's
go to
say-
Wall Street
well-
and be like, "Give me all your stocks."
Hold on. You know what? You guys go ahead. I'll tell you how I think it'll go down afterwards.
Okay, well, because like this is the way I see it. I see that we're going to be enslaved by these dragons because I don't think our military would be powerful enough. You said there's going to be at least two
Yes,
ancients.
yes.
Now, again, I don't know the specifics, but I'm assuming these ancients probably can take even a nuke. Maybe?
No, I don't think so.
No, not a
No.
nuke. But see, the problem would
Yeah.
be, I think our most powerful weapons that could destroy or hurt them would also destroy a lot of our lives too.
I agree with that.
You know.
It's like you're going to do. There's going to be collateral.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
for sure.
And it's like how, of course, no collateral should be ever acceptable, but how are you going to, what type of collateral are we talking about here? You know what I mean? Like, so,
Yeah, we're going to a greater good situation.
yeah. So if it is going to be that, I think it's going to be panic across the board. All governments are going to be, they're going to be, what do they call it? Military takeover, martial law. It's going to be martial law everywhere because, you know what I mean? You can't do anything to like our military. I don't think would be strong enough to probably stand up against these 50, dragons with at least two ancients. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
kind of feel like that. I don't think they would.
What about you, Brian?
Do the dragons know that they're coming out the portal, or is it like, whoops, I'm in Earth?
Oh,
Yeah, I
You know,
think it's
like-
more of a they didn't
Time
come
to
here
invade.
to invade.
Oh, okay.
So they're not very knowledgeable about us either. I think it's more of a weird timey-wimey warp thing happened.
Oopsie.
So we probably have some time then before they figure out that they could be like, oh, all these are going to serve me.
Yeah, so like if you're just gonna dump 50 dragons on New York out of a bucket, and like there's gonna be mayhem and the military is gonna respond, but the smartest of those dragons are going to instantly shapeshift and assimilate.
Yep, you got it.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's going to
they
happen.
can shapeshift.
They're gonna
I forgot about that.
They're gonna see the military respond and some of the more aggressive, like aggravated of the dragons, the
Yeah.
younger ones.
Basically,
the,
all your
the
whites
lower
and blacks
levels.
are going to get fucking annihilated.
Yes.
Your angry reds will cause so much destruction, but they're going to get taken down too.
Your green, I think, and your blue is
Green-
where you're gonna have a lot of problems.
Greens are the
socially
absolute most dangerous, possible.
in that.
Why is that?
They are conniving, genius, ambitious, political, and greedy.
All
They
their-
will infiltrate and they will rise to the upper echelons.
So
of
an
our
amalgamation
society.
of badness,
I-
basically.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's another thing. Yeah, I should have explained this to you. You don't realize this. When I say chromatics are evil, there is no monster in the monster manual that better embodies the 7 sins than
Oh, wow.
dragons.
Oh, okay.
They are prideful beyond all reason. Their arrogance borders on insanity. They are angry and wrathful. They do
Oh,
not
yeah.
take insult.
So
kindly.
we're in trouble.
They are greedy beyond reckoning.
It's not a good situation. They're gonna CEO
They are
it up,
gluttonous.
and they're gonna really wreck some shit.
So
That's pretty
people
much what's
who are
happening
trying to
now.
combat
Anyway,
these dragons, there's not going to be one of those New York moments where hey, yo, fuck you, dragon, and then yeah, you know what I mean, and then people start throwing their cans and bottles at it, and then everyone joins together. No. They would just all get destroyed.
Yes, absolutely.
I think
yeah.
a portion of them will be treated as sacrificial lambs for the rest of the dragons to let's see what all this is about
I
and
think
learn
so,
about
yeah.
these surroundings and where to gold at. They're gonna need to find where the wealth. They are driven by greed in a lot of cases. They want more. They want to hoard. It's like
Yeah.
their whole bit is to
Yeah.
get every single dragon, even the good ones.
Even
they
the good
all
ones,
want stuff.
It's true.
So they're gonna have
true.
they're gonna have a man. They're gonna have it. They're smart enough to get it. They can do magic. They can manipulate people with magic and not just their pretty words and lies.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm thinking that's a bad situation. That hey, we killed all the dragons, right? Because I don't see any anymore.
Yeah.
Oops, you
that's-
didn't
okay.
though.
Yeah.
And now no one knows.
And yeah, I think the greens and the blues and the reds that can keep their cool, those ones are going to infiltrate. And I think give it 100 or 200 years, but they're going to be running everything and no one will even know it. And
The RBGs,
But if
red,
you-
blue, and greens.
yeah,
Yeah.
RPGs. And I think then there's going to be weird draconic proxy wars that we as humans aren't even aware
Oh,
of.
Yeah.
so how? Okay, that's a question I was wondering about. How are these dragons together?
Oh, they hate each other.
Oh, so they do not
Yeah,
work.
no,
They
no.
they are solitary.
Yeah.
each one wants their own.
I think in the initial dump, some of them might band together to like make it happen. But then they'll go their separate ways.
Each dragon thinks that they are the personification of perfection, and like.
And each one thinks they're more perfect than the other.
Exactly. Okay. They're gonna
power scale though.
There is a power scale though, so there's a bit of complexity to that. But they might not like each other, but guess what? Like their fellow dragons are much more close to perfection than anybody who isn't a dragon. So like there's camaraderie in that regard. But I think the infiltration, the polymorphing and infiltration, and that leads to like if the good ones show up, I think the good ones are in so much fucking trouble because they are going to be way too trusting. They're going to try and help us. I think we're going to do terrible things to them, and I think the good ones are going to end up abandoning us.
I don't know.
Wait, the metallic ones are actually good?
Yes.
Or I thought they were just kind of neutral. Like they could
some
be
of them
bad.
are neutral. Most like golds and silvers are so damn good. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, they're like the disciples in the Bible, like supposed to be like that like kind of good.
Almost.
So you don't think there would be any type of a communication to where they will be like, no, we're here to help you. We're going to try to combat.
Yes, they're going to try and do that. And I think that our governments are going to exploit them. And I think I just don't see it going well for the metallics.
I feel like the silvers are really smart. That like the golds might be brazen to like go to do that heroically. I think the silvers would save us. I think they could realize what has happened and do the same sort of assimilation and try to like combat at the like guerrilla warfare like underground level.
Yeah,
as well.
I can see that for sure. Yeah,
like
absolutely.
The way that if everyone's just going to become a CEO and try to have like a money or territory war, then like the silver dragons are probably going to be the ones that are going to lead that. Yeah. These guys live forever, right? So
they can also shapeshift and all that stuff.
Yeah, shapeshift. What about my son now? Just kidding, it's still me. Stuff like that.
What about a like power level between, let's say, there's an ancient metallic and an ancient chromatic?
It depends. So the most powerful. How do I say this? Okay, generally speaking, the most powerful dragon that there can be on the material plane is an ancient gold dragon. It outstrips the only.
So that is a metallic.
Yes, that is a metallic. The second would be an ancient red, and they're like neck and neck.
Oh yeah.
That's an evil one. Then you have blue and silver are about neck and neck, and then it's bronze and green.
I get confused there. Bronze, brass, copper.
Yeah, it's bronze, green, brass, black, copper, white. Yeah.
I feel like a copper dragon would wreck a white dragon.
Oh, absolutely. Because white. So the thing about white dragons is they're the stupidest of all dragons.
They're just rage monsters.
They just have average
machines.
intelligence. Like they tend to be more primal and barbaric.
They would die in the insurgents. Yeah. The initial.
They would all just go to Antarctica and like say everyone leave us the fuck alone. Probably. Yeah.
They look for the cold spot somewhere.
Yeah, they become the new super mega predator in Antarctica.
Yeah. They would get hunted out. I think you could hunt them, like figure it out.
Hard to hunt in Antarctica though. That's a big ass continent with like no way to survive.
Yeah.
You know, and that they're good. They can go into the ice. Penguins are fucked. Let's just start there. Penguins are fucked.
I think a lot of people would try to. God damn, you're right.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
You know all those endangered species? Oops.
Oh yeah, dragons. Yeah, that's
any of them. Polar bears.
They'll eat all the bears.
Penguins.
That's another thing that. Okay, so
they have to eat a lot of bears.
Dragons, especially ancient ones, have a huge effect on their environment.
Yeah.
Just by existing.
Just magic.
Like, a blue dragon, like wherever a blue dragon just chills, it's just always raining and storming all the time.
Oh, wow.
Lightning.
So that's going to change the whole atmosphere.
Exactly. So
I'll definitely ruin your Indio concert.
Yeah.
They like the desert.
So you'll hear like, and today we got a blue dragon warning. If you're not traveling, you might it'll be something like that, right?
Find your local bunker and stay there. We think it's just passing overhead.
But I don't think the dragons could openly be draconic in anything but short spurts before having to escape, because I don't think even an ancient dragon can stand up to a full military.
Really? Okay.
Like, I think it would hold its own and do a lot of damage, but with all of its spells and stuff. But like, one of the main things about dragons in D&D is they can fly, and that makes them a fucking nightmare to deal with because most of your dudes are stuck on the ground. But welcome to the modern age where we have an entire fleet of jets that are going to come after your ass and fly faster than you and hit harder than you.
Yeah, you don't even have to do that. You just launch the missiles at them off the carrier ships or whatever.
We have AI run missiles that are going to home in on you, and there's nothing the dragon can do. Put up shield spells a few times, or you're going to run out.
You're going to get smacked eventually because the amount of firepower the U.S. alone harbors is enough.
I'm imagining like an Independence Day, like, you know, light the fires and kick the tires situation. You know what I mean? And then they go up there and like,
So
Pretty much that. Yeah, I think they would be forced to assimilate themselves into the culture,
and
like,
ultimately that makes them way more dangerous.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, once they start doing that, because you may never know, and they're going to be messing with you on a level where you just won't even find out.
Like,
The other thing we're not discussing is like one of the biggest resource grabs that happens after this initial dragon incursion is the parts of the dragon. You've got magical pieces of magical beasts just laying around.
And that does raise a question: like, can dragons do magic when they get here? And if the answer is yes, that means that their body parts are magical.
That's a very D&D
I
question.
didn't
We're
know
now
that.
introducing magic into our world.
We got Penn and Teller, but are they bringing the weave with them? So
what do you mean about like is there something about these dragons' body parts that you can use in Dungeons and Dragons that has magic to them? I don't know this part
their
of it.
teeth, anything, any part of them.
Huge loot. When you kill a monster, you're gonna want to like strip it for its like medical and magical properties.
Yeah.
So for example, if I were to get like, let's say right outside your house, Brian, right? They kill a dragon.
Mm-hmm.
They actually kill a red dragon.
Tight.
Yeah. Okay, and I grab a fang. What can I do with that?
You burn the fuck out of your hand, probably.
Really?
No, I'm just kidding. Like if you were able to get your hands on one,
The dragon bone itself would just be a super durable and damaging like substance to make a weapon out of. But I'm thinking like their skin, like
Or like their scale or something?
yeah,
Like,
if you skin a dragon, let's say you skin a red dragon, right? That skin is naturally super resistant to heat. Like you could build whole suits of armor or outfits that would be able to go into volcanoes and stuff like that.
yeah, Tom. I think you're a great, smart guy, but like I don't think you have like a military grade science facility in your house that can like try to start replicating these items. You know,
I
that's
don't
the thing.
think.
It's not.
I
Your
think you would
layman's
be-
not gonna be able to do much with it. Governments
Or
are
so
going to start
you
doing
know,
a lot.
Brian.
Yeah.
I actually do. No, just,
or so I think.
Yeah.
But I do think that if you played your cards correctly and kind of kept it on the low key, you could be a very rich man afterwards.
And like we don't cover this stuff in D&D because like technology doesn't really exist in D&D, but like magic is an energy. It has a signature. Like I would not be surprised if we're getting crazy readings off of blah 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 of like this thing that we've never seen before, and then we learn how to harness it and bottle it, and then next thing you know we do have magic.
Yeah, they kept that old rig that the old Steve the scientist like made in the fucking 40s, and no one knows what the signature is supposed to come up on. All of a sudden, the dial starts jumping off the chain.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like, oh shit, he knew. He knew all along. It's magic. I think they would still keep their physical capabilities, but if we're talking like, let's say I was going to run a D&D campaign where the dragons came to Earth, there's no weave. Magic is like this background force,
right?
That like just permeates everything, like the Force in Star Wars. Like if Obi-Wan showed up on our Earth, like could he use the Force? That would imply that it was here all along,
Right,
which
exactly.
I know it's not.
So that I think if dragons from D&D did come here, they wouldn't be able to do magic anymore.
I would think so. They would fly, and then they would be like, "Fuck, I can't turn into a dude," and then they'd get fucking. It would be just
and without
standard
that
alien
magic,
invasion, but the aliens are like
Then
kind
it
of
turns
surprised that they're
into-
even here.
Yeah, that turns into us defeating them, killing them, harvesting them, enslaving them, and all that other jazz.
Yeah, so it's basically the same thing, except instead of a dragon running the corporation, it's just a regular guy that is like, well, I'm going to turn these dragon scales into like the new military grade armor and stuff like that.
We were the dragons all the time.
we were.
There's a really funny comic of Jeff Bezos. And he's a little kid. And he's
He's like on the Lord of Gold.
He's
I
like,
love that.
what do you want to be when you grow up, Jeff? A dragon. Jeff, you can't be a dragon when you grow up. And then the next frame is him like on top of his pile of gold,
Yes, it's hilarious.
crawling on it. Oh man, yeah, that would be nuts. That would be ape shit.
So if they couldn't do magic, that changes the whole dynamic of that because
Our culture pretty much remains
I think
intact.
we could, exactly. I don't think you could.
If they could do magic and change into people, it's a problem.
It's the polymorph plus the genius intellect plus the living 5,000 years.
Yeah, if you have a dragon, physically powerful dragon that is also Professor McGonagall, just like running around, that's bad news.
But if they did do magic, I know that in some editions of D&D, dragons can be warlock patrons.
Oh, nice.
Shit, now we have warlocks because ancient dragons are fucking like hiring people, binding them to themselves, and granting them magic, and then Yeah, who knows what that does?
Oh, I'm in line for that. I'm the first
welcome
one.
our new Dragon Overlords.
Hello, Mr. Dragon. I'm Thomas, and I would like to.
Tom, you've been doing good work for our company for a long time now. I think it's time I shared a little secret with you.
Yeah, instead of raises, you're like, so I will imbue you with more magical powers. I'll be like, yeah, I got a raise. You know.
Here you go. And they put a little envelope in front of you. You open up the envelope. It's just a paper that says 3rd spell slot.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, I can do
At
it.
last.
I know. I'll be like, hey, Brian and Will, look what I do with my fingertips.
That's cool.
So I kind of feel like then if we move on to, let's say, if dragons were here all along.
Oh, here
right?
all along, yeah.
And I do think that's an interesting dynamic, though, what Brian said earlier about, like, if they were here all along, but if they were just in hiding or whatever, we didn't know. I kind of feel like that's almost the same, though, too, like, if they just showed up. But let's say if we knew, like, we know about dragons. They've been
Since
all
ancient
through
times.
history. Yeah, they've always been there.
I think in that case, like, the world would just look nothing like it does now. I don't think tech
No.
would have gotten as far as it would, because that's the biggest threat to the dragon. Like, why are they going to, even the good ones, like, they're not going to like the idea of us, being able to form missiles or lasers or bullets or guns or
There would be a lot more segregation,
explosives,
I think.
all that other stuff.
I think it's really the same actual like minus the incursion section of the plan. Like, oh, they've been here all along. Like, are they just in charge of everything?
Yeah,
I
they
would
would
think
just
they
be in
would
charge
be,
of it,
yeah.
but I think they would openly be dragons. And I
Yeah,
think,
like you know how Justin Bieber
But with
has
magic. Let's say, like, they
And-
do have magic.
yeah,
in this
sure.
world, Yeah.
Yeah.
like magic was real all along.
Because I do think Uprising was what happened if they didn't.
Yeah. Okay, if dragons were real and they had magic, I think you would have to ask the question, like, what is magic? And humans are going to do everything that they can to tap into that resource. And I mean, if we'd have to come up with a weird reason why dragons would be able to and humans wouldn't.
Right, and maybe it's that thing like the people that are and that could be the Salem witch trials explanation. Like, people get their hand on magic and dragons start going fucking after them, burning people at the stake and stuff. They're ostracizing people that are pagans and want to do magic and stuff like that. And now we are
Like,
Roman
no,
Catholics.
You can't have it. Yeah.
That's true. I know, right? That would be horrible like that. I also was just reminded, or it could be biological. Like, I was actually watching, there's on HBO Max, there's a Superman and Lois show, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I started watching it. It's actually pretty good. It's very different. It's not your normal Superman story. But
Sure.
in that show, there's a part where they talk about one of his sons who may be exhibiting some powers, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they take him to the Fortress of Solitude. And, of course, the hologram Gramps, that's there, his father
right,
or whatever.
yeah.
He does tests on the boy, right? And he tells him, well, he's never going to be like you. His powers are only like 1/100th of the scale of your power because of his human DNA is too limiting.
Mm-hmm.
It will not allow him to absorb enough sunlight or whatever it is that, mostly sunlight that gives Superman his powers.
Yeah.
Because of his Kryptonian biology. So it could be something like that. If you wanted to say like why humans couldn't get this magic, maybe it was something biological.
It's just magic is so specific and strange. You know what I mean? Like conjuring things, summoning things, spewing out elemental spells, causing illusions. You know what I mean? What biological factor can be responsible for all those various things that, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I just feel like, especially because the type of magic the dragons tend to do is, wizardry. It's straight up, they're learning how to do magic.
Okay.
You know
It's not
what I
like
mean?
you said sorcery, like where it's
yeah.
inherent in your.
Yeah, I mean, yes and no, because they do have inherent magic in them because they are dragons. So there is some stuff that's like biologically inherent to them, but like the ones who pursue magic and become mages, like they become straight wizards.
Well, if that's the case, then other than that scenario of them being like Salem witch trials type things where they're burning everyone that's going to exhibit any type of, tapping into magic, it's definitely going to, I think the smartest route would be they would give them a little bit. You know what I mean? You give them just a little bit, enough to quell their reasons for trying to sneak and tap into that.
And they're like, here you go,
You know what I
that's
mean?
magic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
This is really it? Yeah, that's it, man.
That's
Sorry.
it. That's all it is.
And then I think access to magic would kind of stunt our technological growth as well.
Oh, big! I think big time. Yeah.
Well, maybe you combine it somehow, and maybe it excels.
I mean, I think at some point maybe there's some sort of like industrial revolution. I just think everything gets postponed. Everything gets
Sure,
pushed out.
yeah. Let's focus on this.
But humans
magic.
would want to start to catch up, and I think
Yeah.
you're right. I think because of that, there probably would be some kind of mesh at some point of technology and magic.
Yeah. But dude, could you imagine?
And that is all we have for you tonight. We will continue to bring you up-to-date coverage as new imaginings develop. Please don't forget to leave an iTunes review, like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Remember, you can follow us on YouTube and on Twitter at DCYImagine. And if you would like to contact us or tell us what you are imagining, you can email us at dudecouldyouimagine@gmail.com. This has been Fritz Frivolous, and from all of us here at Dude Could You Imagine, keep on imagining.